Night, good day to you, depending where you are in the world. I'm here live in London doing a nighttime devotion from the devotional Conflict and Courage. The title today, Jezebel's Blighting Influence. 1 Kings 21:25. But there was none like unto Ahab, which did sell himself to work wickedness in the sight of the Lord, whom Jezebel his wife stirred up. Ahab was weak in moral power. His union by marriage with an idolatrous woman of decided character and positive temperament resulted disastrously both to himself and to the nation. Unprincipled and with no high standard of right doing, his character was easily moulded by the determined spirit of Jezebel. Under the blighting influence of Ahab's rule, Israel wandered far from the living God and corrupted their ways before him. The dark shadow of apostasy covered the whole land. Images of Baalim and Ashtoreth were everywhere to be seen. Idolatrous temples and consecrated groves, wherein were worshipped the works of men's hands, were multiplied. The air was polluted with the smoke of the sacrifices offered to false gods. Hill and vale resounded with the drunken cries of a heathen priesthood who sacrificed to the sun, moon, and stars. Through the influence of Jezebel and her impious priests, the people were taught that the idol gods that had been set up were deities, ruling by their mystic power the elements of earth, fire, and water. All the bounties of heaven, the running brooks, the streams of living water, the gentle dew, showers of rain which refreshed the earth and caused the fields to bring forth abundantly, were ascribed to the favour of Baal and Ashtoreth, instead of to the giver of every good and perfect gift. The people forgot that the hills and the valleys, the streams and fountains were in the hand of the living God, that he controlled the sun, the clouds of heaven, and all the powers of nature. In their blind folly they chose to reject God and his worship. How few realize the power of an unconsecrated woman. God would have been with Ahab if he had walked in the counsel of heaven. But Ahab did not do so. He married a woman given to idolatry. Jezebel had more power over the king than God had. She led him into idolatry, and with him the people. So titled Jezebel's Blighting Influence here is indicating that she had a blighting influence, a very, very bad influence on Ahab. And Ahab, being of weak moral power, married this woman who was idolatrous, which was a disaster for Israel because he led the whole of Israel into idolatry. It says here that he was setting up, there was temples of idol worship. Idolatrous temples were all over, consecrated groves where were worshipped the work of men's hands, where so statues and made of wood and stone were worshipped. And they were burning incense to false gods. They had priests, these heathen priests, being drunk, worshipping and sacrificing to the sun, moon and stars. And this is all because of Jezebel. And you can't just blame Jezebel, because the influence behind Jezebel is, of course, Satan. Satan and his imps. Ahab could have kept Israel on that straight and narrow path, but he chose this woman over God. She led him into apostasy, idolatry. And of course he lost his way, and thus Israel, for a time, lost their way. And so we should be careful too. We ought to be careful too. Where is your heart? Where is your worship?